Vladimir Putin has arrived in India for a two-day visit, his first since launching a full-scale invasion of Ukraine in 2022. Prime Minister Narendra Modi greeted the Russian president as he touched down in Delhi. He's hosting him at a private dinner ahead of talks on Friday. President Putin hopes to increase Russian oil sales as well as missile systems and fighter jets. India is under pressure from the United States to distance itself from Russia over the war in Ukraine. Let's explore who can expect to get what with Professor Sreeram Chaulia, who's Dean at the Jindal School of International Affairs. Welcome to DW. Let's start with the basics then. What does India want from this visit?
India has had a long strategic partnership with Russia going back many decades, and India has relied on reliable and state-of-the-art Russian weaponry for its security to defend itself against its two main adversaries, China and Pakistan. And I think this visit will help to further concretize the defense relationship. Recently, the two countries have entered into a mutual logistics sharing agreement on defense, which will mean greater interoperability between the armed forces of both sides. And so I think there's going to be more talk about joint production, co-development, and indigenization of India's defense manufacturing with Russian support. There have been major, previous examples of joint Russian-Indian collaboration leading to outstanding results like the BrahMos supersonic missile system. So I think those sorts of things, and we have an anti-missile defense shield from Russia, S-400. All these, we are expecting more supplies from them. Okay. There's also an effort to broad-base the relationship and reduce the trade deficit that we have with Russia.
I wanted to talk about that, this notion of broadening the relationship beyond energy and defense. Into what sort of sectors?
Well, energy is, a mainstay, and that itself has consumed most of the bilateral trade. We want to go into agriculture. We want to look at textiles, pharmaceuticals, seafood exports, and such things. India has a lot of trade complementarity with Russia. Approximately 60% trade complementarity. So we would want to go there so that we can reduce the trade deficit because it's been a one-way traffic where Russia has been selling oil and we've been buying, and that's not very healthy for the long-term relationship. And we also want greater Russian investments in different sectors of our economy. And the hope is that in the long run, we will be able to, weather the Western pressures and continue this relationship because it's mutually beneficial and has created concrete results for both sides.
And when you say we, you said we a lot there. You're talking about India, or do you have some stake in this yourself?
No, I mean, all of us working for national interests, in Indian national interests, we need the Russian partnership. We also need the American friendship. And we are trying to make sure that both of these are intact. And in fact, as you know, we are also parallelly doing a trade deal with the Americans to end the dispute with the Trump administration. And that is also on the card. So likely we should have a better year in 2026 with both of these engines of India's growth, Russia and the United States coming along with us.
And you think New Delhi can do that? It can walk that tightrope between Russian and American interests? Because I'd be interested to know what sort of signals you think this visit sends to Washington, the sight of Putin and Modi embracing, as we saw today.
Well, I don't think it should be read as defiance of the US, just the visit, because we have had annual summits for last 25 years. It's a tradition, Russia-India annual summits. I think what we are trying to do is...
Forgive me, let me just interrupt there, just because those annual summits, they stopped, though, didn't they, after Russia launched its full-scale invasion of Ukraine? This is the first one since then.
This is the first one where Putin is coming to India, but Prime Minister Modi has been to Russia last year in 2024. So they have resumed. We have had 23 annual summits in the last 25 years. So we just missed it twice.
And what has been India's stance on Russia's invasion of Ukraine?
Well, Prime Minister Modi is one of the first world leaders who has access to President Putin and who told him directly that this is not the era of war. and we would like them to enter into a negotiated settlement and to end the conflict. We have never favored what Russia has done in Ukraine, but on the other hand, we want this national interest based bilateral pragmatic cooperation with Russia to continue. So that's been, our effort. And I think India has also passed on messages from the Europeans and the US to directly to President Putin through Prime Minister Modi. And India is interested in playing a behind the scenes role to try and bring this war to a close. Because if the war comes to a close, we can, have this, like I said, the best of both worlds, both Russia and the United States. And in fact, the ongoing efforts to end the war in Ukraine is good news for us, because then we don't have to be under any pressure to choose between one or the other.
Good talking to you, Professor. Professor Sreeram Chaulia from the Jindal School of International Affairs.